What's up, guys? Ricardo the Barber here. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, please. I'm gonna go ahead and do a haircut on my buddy here, who he's gonna film a video right after this promotional for his new company that he has. So we're gonna go ahead and make sure we give this guy the works. We're gonna give him a 1.5 with the grain and a medium ball fade with enhancements. This way it pops for the video. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the number 1 open, my Austin Fast Feeds, and I'll make sure I go with the grain, being careful for the actual grain direction, so this way I don't cut against it or across it on accident, because that's how you create light spots. So I'm going to go ahead and go around the head and just go over the spots as good as I can, make it nice and clean. Start off being careful for his mask. I'm gonna use my trimmers, my babyless skeleton trimmers. I'm gonna go ahead and create the ball guy line around the head, dropping it a little bit downwards in the back under his occipital bone. And in the meantime, while I'm making this, I'm gonna go ahead and shout out my cousin Sean. He made the beat for this this video. He got a bunch of them. Shawnee got the bag on Instagram and YouTube. I'll go ahead and have a link in the description. This way you guys can check them out. Please do. Alright, next step, you're going to go ahead and open up your clippers to an open blade, which just means it's the longest setting with no clipper guard attached. You're going to go ahead and make about a 3/4 to a 1-inch band, depending on the size of the person's head, just over that initial guideline. And attach the number 1 guard, and I'm going to open it up. All right, so this is going to create the next guideline for you. I'm going to go ahead and create that the same distance as the first and second guideline. We're going to add about 1 inch or 3/4, give or take. All right, make sure it's consistent. I like to keep brushing the hair down in its natural growth pattern. This way you can see what you've cut, very clearly. Now, because that created a guideline, I'm going to go ahead and try to knock down the hair above it by, it was a 1.5 to start with. So what I did was I closed the actual lever to make it just a 1, and I'm going with the grain and knock down that bulk. Now, since that didn't clear it 100%, I'm going to use the number 2 against the grain to start blending down toward that 1.5 that I initially made for a guideline. So all I'm doing is I'm trying to blend this hair down above that second guideline to match, so this way it disappears. So in this case, as I'm blending, it does not disappear with a 2 guard. But so all that means is that you grab your 1 guard, you open it back up, and you just flick that last little line out. All right, which you're going to see me do right next. Close the guard close the lever on the guard as you're blending downwards, and this is how you erase that line. The lower you blend, the closer to the skin you want to cut the hair. This is why the lever goes forward to the closed position. So usually when you're fully closed, you should be at the point where you're fully blending that line out, which that's where I'm at almost now. There we go. So now we're gonna try to blend that bottom line down. We already we created it with the open blade, so we're gonna go ahead and close the blade a little bit and stay under that initial guideline. This way we don't raise the fade on accident. So as you go lower, keep closing that guard. So now I'm closed all the way. That should pretty much take that last little guideline out. Now as you can see, it's not perfect. That's totally fine. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. You just go ahead, open and close the lever to erase random little lines and make it look as good as possible. So as you can see, I'm adding a guard, I'm minusing a guard, I'm opening a lever, I'm closing a lever. So any spots you see, try to lighten them up. So a little spot in the front, I use the one to kind of, knock it out. Now here, I'm just going to go ahead and fast motion. And you're going to repeat the same process around the rest of the head. All right, it's going to be the same thing. So I'm going to let this play out. Make sure you have good lighting when you're cutting hair, all right? A lot of that is you got to be able to see dark spots and be able to take them out properly. If you have bad lighting, you won't be able to really see that good, and it can make a hard time when you're cutting hair, all right? So now that I'm done, I got my little Tune 45 template here for spray. I'm gonna hit them with some Got To Be Glued spray because I like the way that works to freeze the hair, hold it in place for my shape up. Spray his outline and then dry it up real nice. This way I hit it with the trimmer and it's going to cut the hair real sharp. I'm going to go ahead and hit the nice his shape up real lightly. All right, he's got a good hairline. It's not really bad at all. So I'm going to go ahead and just try to keep it as natural as possible without cutting it back too far. And as you can see, that Got To Be Glued spray works out really good. You can see a nice sharp little white line coming as I'm hitting it with these trimmers here. And these things are zero gapped and they're very sharp. I definitely recommend them. You can see the work they're doing. And, you just go around the head and make sure everything's nice and straight. Make sure you're looking at your client straight ahead of him. This way you have a nice level surface to make a good level line going across his forehead. And lightly touch up, the arch area. All right, just however it looks naturally, just touch it up so this way it's sharp. You don't want to, cut that in too much either. So here's a close-up. This way you guys get a better view. Again, this guy's going to shoot a video right after this that I ended up doing for him, so he wants to look about as fresh as possible. So I do use some enhancements. We're going to go ahead and hit him with some semi-permanent spray right after this. I'm going to hit him with the barber pencil. It's like a light brown color. It's a little bit lighter than his skin to make the hair pop a little more. And here I'm using Bossio's hairspray. It's the black color. And this stuff works really good because I feel like it's got a better, more natural look when you spray it. It's not as glossy as you mix in, you know, the semi-permanent spray. So this I definitely recommend big time. It's on his website, tune45.com. Definitely check that out. It's a huge help. As you can see, everything still looks natural and it's not glossy. It's got a very dull look to it. So all it's supposed to do is just fill in the light spots. All right. He does have a good hairline, but you know, when you spray this stuff, it definitely helps everything look real sharp. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Barber Magic pencil. Hit this line real quick. Make sure you don't use this pencil and get it on the hair, because you got to pretty much blend this off with trimmers and your razor. So you don't want to have to cut into the hair area where his actual shape up starts. So keep it on the forehead. Don't go too high, because again, it's meant for the skin. So you don't want like a light line left over after you're done, you know, taking most of this off and blending it in, because that just won't look right, and it might be hard to get out. So just be careful when you're using this. Go nice and light. Make sure it's sharpened. If you sharpen it, it creates a nice little sharp point. Makes it easier for you to look and you know, actually see where you're hitting on the skin, and it's not too wide of an actual mark. You know, you don't want it to be super wide. You just want a nice light little line. So here we're gonna hit it with the razor. Make sure we stretch the skin. You know, during these COVID times, everyone's got to wear a mask. Do your best not to cut the mask. All right, stretch that skin. You know, have the client hold the mask on his face if you need to. In Connecticut, we do have 15 minutes to cut the person's beard if they're getting their beard done. But he wasn't, so we left the mask on. But you know, like I said, be careful. I've cut someone's mask before. You know, you're playing with sharp items, it happens. You know, don't fret. Just try to have extras at your barbershop, if anything, to replace them. So stretch that skin. Make sure you don't go past the hairline. You're gonna see the haircut pop out very nice. All right, it's perfect for if you're gonna have some pictures taken, or like in his case, shooting a video. The haircut comes out nice and fresh. All right. Here's a nice view of the other side, you know, and I'm making sure I use a nice exposed razor. I like razor where the blade is actually exposed a little more, so I use the Black Widow razor, which I found out is very nice. Works very good for this type of haircut when you're using enhancements and the Magic pencil. You can see that blade sticking out quite a bit. So this is the cut. Hope you guys like it. Hope all you new guys out there learn a little something. You know, it's an easy process. You can actually create a half decent haircut if you guys keep practicing. All right. So I hope you guys, you know, made out well. Hope you learned something new. Like, comment, subscribe, please.